conference ahead of Saturday night's spill at the Virtu Motors Arena here in Newcastle, put together by Wasserman Boxing and broadcast live on Channel 5. And it's a card that is packed with some serious talent from top to bottom, a lot of it locally produced and locally sourced. Not all of it. The North East, of course, has produced a lot of good fighters for a long, long time now, particularly in the amateur ranks in recent times, and it's great to see a lot of them sat at these two tables today. And leading the way is Josh Kelly, top of the bill, fighting for that WBO International Super Welterweight title against Lucas Bastida, and now long reigning South American champion at middleweight, but Super Welter is very much his natural weight. We've got HARLEM EUBANK in a 10-rounder, and leading the charge for the newly turned over pros, if you like, in this part of the world, Pat McCormack, Newcastle's Olympic silver medalist. And I'll just go to Nissa first of all. Nissa Salmond. Nissa, always good to see you, and always good to be in Newcastle, I think it's fair to say, because the fight fans up here, they get behind their own fighters. In sports in general, they get behind their own, and we're in for a good night on Saturday.
Thanks. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be back in Newcastle. Always love coming up here. I've had quite a few good nights up here. We've got a stacked card, like Andy says. I think boxing up here at the moment is it's on fire. I think there's a lot of talent getting produced right through the North East. We've got a stacked card. We've got two big guys going at it in a 50-50 fight with Franklin Ignatius and Hosea Stewart. We've got two Olympians in the main event, and HARLEM EUBANK, one of the Eubanks obviously, fighting as well. So I think it's got everything in the card. I'm obviously very excited to be here and looking forward to a great night in front of some great fight fans. Thank you.
And as I said, we've got quality all throughout the card, so we'll just have a chat with the fighters on the front table. And Kai, I'll start with you, Kai Richmond, Cobra Kai. I'm all over that nickname. So you're 1-0 as a pro. You're early in your journey. You made your debut back in March. You were telling me yesterday you came from an MMA background, amateur-wise. So what prompted the change to boxing?
Boxing had always been my main, been the main thing I trained in. So yeah, I fought MMA, but I was still in the boxing gym 3 times a week. And I'd always sort of favoured it. And it just felt right when I started training with John to make that change. So at the time it was just right, and that's it.
So the workout yesterday, you got a flavour of a big fight week. You seem to enjoy it. You seem to soak up the atmosphere from the crowd. And how does it feel to be part of a promotion like this, really early in your pro career?
It was a good buzz. Working out yesterday in front of everyone, it was the first time for me. It was just uplifting, absolutely amazing. I was buzzing to be there, I'm buzzing to be here, I'm just enjoying the whole week. Can't wait for Saturday. I'll make sure that I'm remembered after it.
Well, it'll be good to see you on Saturday. Good to see you.
Cheers.
Lisa, moving on to you. So, in terms of the pro boxing ring, it's a long time no see, isn't it? Because you made your pro debut in 2019 off the back of a pretty spectacular amateur career. Gold medal at the Commonwealth Games, silvers and bronzes at the European Championships, at the World Championships, a long-standing member of that GB squad. You had 3 fights in 5 months, and we haven't seen you since. So I asked you earlier, what's been happening with you in the meantime? And the answer is plenty. You must be itching to get back in there.
Yeah, I can't wait. I've been out nearly coming up 3 years. Had a little baby boy, which is an absolute blessing. He is my little world title. I should have been coming back last year, but unfortunately, August time, sparring, and ripped a tendon in my shoulder, so had to have it operated on, so that kind of put me on a back burner again. So, been out 3 years, but I have had cracking preparation, really good spars with all different females of weights and abilities. So yeah, I just want to get going again, and my ultimate goal is to get that world title for my little boy, so can't wait.
And I know you're looking to box at probably super bantamweight when you hit the title trail. That's a hot division. Just in UK terms, you look at the likes of Ramla Ali, Ebony Bridges, who's been boxing over here, Ellie Scotney. There are plenty more besides. And women's pro boxing is riding high at the minute. We've got this card coming up, obviously in September, with Savannah Marshall, who you know well, against Caressa Shields, and Michaela Mayer, Alicia Baumgartner. And you'll be looking to get to that kind of level as soon as you can, I'd imagine.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Obviously, with the obviously I've got Probellum that are going to be putting me on the route. Obviously, I'm absolutely made up to be on this card, so thank you very much for that. And yeah, it's about fast tracking me, getting me in the right route to get them like world title shots as soon as possible at Super Bantam or Bantam. I'm quite happy to do either one, so just to get them opportunities. I'm not bothered about, obviously you see some things where people are avoiding other people, you know, let them choose my route, and I will box whoever I can do to get that world title for sure.
Well, it'll be great to see you back tomorrow. It's been a long time coming, like I said.
Yeah, I really can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Well, from little to large, I think that's not too rude a comment, Steve. Always good to see you. You've attracted some real attention, I think, over the last few months. Your last couple of fights have been TV fights. I know the last one didn't go the way that you wanted it to go, obviously, but at the same time, I think people have really taken to you. The style that you bring to the ring, the thought and kind of humour that you put into your self-promotion. But I know that this is a results business, and on Saturday you need to get the train back on the tracks.
Yeah, definitely. I just want position. Test 1, 2. I just want to show that, you know, I was sort of made out of a gimmick, and I just want to show that it's not just a gimmick. And you know, I was never bothered about that 0 on that after that fight. And I just, you know, being the underdog and having doubt in people's minds about what I'm capable of is great for me. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't affect me. And you'll see come Saturday what I'm about, and you know, then I can start to look to raise it back up again.
You did say to me yesterday that you know, things didn't go brilliantly ahead of the last fight. So what's been different in terms of this camp?
Nothing's been different. It was more so the weeks leading up to the fight. It was, you know, I'll never discredit Shane Gillen, what he'd done, and all he had to do was come perform and get the win. He'd done that, so that'll be something I never talk about, what went on leading up to the fight. But going forward, nothing's been different. You know, I know my ability, I know what I'm capable of, and as I say, I'll show that come Saturday night and moving forward, and being doubted of people and these people who sit on social media and talk crap about everyone, do you know what I mean? Doesn't matter what level you're at there, that's great, that's fuel for all, so we can carry on doing it. It really doesn't affect me or bother me.
Okay, well, likewise, it'll be good to see you back in the ring. Good to see you back in the ring on Saturday night. We're going to skip to the other end of the table. Don't worry, Franklin, Hosea, Raza. We're going to get back to you. But sat on the right hand side, left hand side as you look at it, Ben Marksby, who is another product of the North East amateur system. He was an English youth champion a few years ago. Boxed numerous times for England. Very good amateur records. Who knows what he might have done as a senior in the amateurs, but just as his career as a senior was starting, COVID hit, and like a lot of fighters, he decided to turn pro once the pandemic had kind of shifted out of view. And you've not wasted any time either, Ben, have you? Because you've got plenty of fights under your belt already, 4-0, and just looking to move as swiftly as you can and learn as much as you can in these early stages.
Fifth fight coming up Saturday, just in 3-4 months it is now.
And in terms of progression, is it about getting around in at the minute, fighting different kinds of styles?
I mean, first 6 rounder on Friday, so like I said, if I can get them out, I will try and get them out, but if not, I've got another 6 rounds under the belt.
Well, you gave us a good show at the workout yesterday. Really put yourself through your paces. So looking forward to see what you've got on Saturday. Just sat next to you there, Jordan Barker Porter. Again, somebody who turned pro maybe a little bit before you would have anticipated, again due to COVID, and same kind of story since then. You've been nice and busy, you've had 5 fights, you've won 4, you've lost 1, you boxed just a couple of weeks ago, and you're just reveling in the activity, I think.
Yeah, I boxed a couple of weeks ago on the Stadium Light show, and I got the opportunity to fight on Saturday, so I thought, why not? It's the first chance of fighting in Newcastle, because all my other fights have been in Sunderland. I did turn over, obviously, sooner than probably anticipated, but COVID hit, and I thought, if the time's right, it's now for females in the professional ranks, so I'm happy with the decision.
Just tell us a bit about your journey of boxing, because you only turned to the sport, I think, 4 years ago, 4 and a bit years ago, and you've done a lot in a short space of time, because as an amateur, you boxed for Haringey, you got a gold at Haringey, you were on the GB kind of development squad, the Aspire programme, I think it's called, for the female fighters before COVID hit. So that's some serious going.
Yeah, I made amateur debut it was 4 years ago in May, and I'm sat at this table now, so that just goes to show the hard work, what you can do. I had 24 fights in 20 months, so I was very active, so when COVID hit, it hit hard. I just wanted to fight, and obviously there was nothing about. I think it was a day out from winning for the Elite Championships, and then we went into national lockdown, so it was a bit shit, but I had a little bit of thinking to do, and then I got the opportunity to turn pro, so I just thought, why not? And I set myself a target. I have 4 fights this year. I'm on the 4th fight on Saturday, so I just want to be active. I want to be busy. This year is a learning year for me, and then next year I want to push on for some form of title.
Well, you've got plenty of time to get some more fights in before the end of the year, so I definitely expect to see you again after Saturday. Again, it'd be good to see you. It'd be good to see you in the ring on Saturday night. So, Raza, we'll go to you next. Rashed Hamza, you step up to your first 10-rounder on Saturday, boxing for an IBO international title. You're undefeated. It's been a learning process so far. You've been on a couple of big shows, I've noticed on your record, but this is the biggest platform, the biggest occasion in terms of your involvement in things like today and that kind of thing that you've experienced so far. So this is a big week for you.
Yeah, it is. It's the first time I'm doing a 10-rounder. Obviously, I've done loads of 10 rounds in the gym and that, but I can't wait to get going now. And Saturday night, you can see what I'm all about.
And I know that you're going to have to adapt to a late change of opponent. I'd imagine that's probably something you've been through before, but not for a fight of this kind of size. Is that just adds to the challenge?
Yeah, absolutely. I was meant to fight somebody who was 13-5, and he pulled out obviously. And yesterday they offered me someone who was 13-0 with 8 knockouts. I said yes straight away. I'll beat him, you know what I mean, and I'll push on. This is just a stepping stone for me. When I win this title, after that, I'll be coming for the British and Commonwealth at featherweight. So whoever's got it, I'm going to come at you and I'm going to fuck you up, basically.
Okay, no, that's what we want to hear, fighting talk. That's what this is about. 16-1, Rashed Hamza undefeated, and you heard him there. His intentions are very clear. I don't think there'll be an enormous amount of messing around between the two heavyweights you've got in the middle of the table here as well. Hosea Stewart and Franklin Ignatius, 2 fighters whose careers I've been following closely. I've commentated on a couple of their fights, the pair of them. And this is a very interesting matchup. Hosea Stewart, good amateur, GB champion as an amateur, has done a lot of good sparring, 2-0 in his pro career so far. Franklin Ignatius, similar kind of story, London elite champion as an amateur, got a gold at the Haringey Box Cup, got his career back on track this year after it was interrupted by COVID. He's 4-0. And, well, Franklin, I'll come to you first. You're the away fighter, in the sense that this is a Wasserman show and Hosea is a Wasserman fighter. I bet it didn't take you long to accept this challenge, did it?
As far as I'm concerned, it was the right opportunity. It got presented to me and we took it with both hands.
And Hosea, it's credit to the pair of you really that you're both happy to take this at an early stage of your career. We've seen a bit more of this during the pandemic, post-pandemic, that fighters are happy to roll the dice earlier than maybe they would have done previously?
Yeah, it's just another fight, to be honest. Wouldn't be here if we didn't know that we're going to win. So, you know, I just got to go out there Saturday night, do my thing, and move on to the next step.
Any history between you two from the amateurs? Do you know each other at all?
No.
And Franklin, how do you plan to cope with somebody of Jose's size? Because by my reckoning, you might be giving away about, if he weighs in what he has done the previous 2 fights, you'll be giving away about £100.
Listen, this is not a weightlifting contest or bodybuilding contest. This is boxing. So as far as I'm concerned, weight don't make no difference. He's carrying 2 extra tires. So how's that going to help him box? I can't see it. You know what I mean? This is a 4-rounder. We've got 2 days to go. We'll go and crack on.
Okay, give us a prediction then.
It depends on how his gas tank. If he can last, I'll win on points. If he gasses out early, he's getting stopped.
Okay, Jose, same question, give us a prediction.
You ain't got to worry about my gas tank, trust me. Trust me about that. Yeah? Come Saturday night, make sure you keep that same energy, because ain't nobody getting stuck on you. You know them ones. Keep that same energy.
Okay, well listen,
Listen, as far as this fight is concerned, I don't even know what to support me. Your crowd can't fight for you, this is one-on-one. Do you understand? When the crowd goes, it's just me and you. Don't worry about your supporters, worry about yourself.
Who's here? I'm here. I'm the one talking. Ain't no supporters talking for me. You get me? Like I said, keep that same energy. Bring that energy, come fight night, and we'll see what's popping.
Okay. Listen, we were talking about this.
Nice one for that, mate, for putting me in the middle of these two. I didn't make it come.
Well, I mean, I think the fair thing to do probably would have been to put Steve in the middle of them, but then again, I think the competitive juices would have started flowing and we would have had a potential Royal Rumble on our hands, which is not what you, well, maybe it is what you want at a press conference, but listen, we were talking about this one before we came and sat down, and it's just a great fight, isn't it? 2 undefeated heavyweights. There's a lot at stake.
I think there's a lot at stake for both of them. Did I just say a lot of stake? I said a lot at stake. Look, credit to both of them, you know, they're both unbeaten fighters and they're putting that hill on the line. It doesn't happen enough in boxing these days, sadly, but again, respect to both of these guys, may the best man win. I know Jose well, I've seen Franklin, they both carry themselves well, and you know, I can listen to them talk all night as well. But credit to both of them, and looking forward to tomorrow, Saturday.
No, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so we'll move on to our top table, and Saturday will be the second pro outing for Newcastle's Olympic silver medalist. Sat on the far right hand side there, Pat McCormack. His amateur career was a very distinguished one. I remember commentating on his senior ABA final win back in 2014. He was already on the GB squad at that point, and it was a year after that really at the Europeans that he won a silver medal, and it all just started to roll from there, and it's just been medal after medal after medal since. Rio Olympic Games, European Championships, European Championship gold, the Commonwealth Games gold, the World Championship silver, which, you know, who knows how that might have gone had it not been for the head clash, but you got your revenge against Andre Zankovoy in the Olympic qualifiers, and then at the Olympics, you know, a silver medal is an unbelievable achievement. In a final, you found yourself up against a kind of Cuban 3-round master, unfortunately. But want to know, it didn't last that long, your first pro fight, but are we going to see more of you on Saturday?
I just want to say thanks to Solomon for getting us on the show, my management team, and the journey started here, back in Newcastle, back in my hometown, home fans and support. Can't wait for Saturday night.
And how have you found the adjustment to professional boxing with Ben? I mean, I know there are differences, because I mean, you're used to being away from home because you were training in Sheffield, but you're not really used to being away from home by yourself, which I know you have been the last few weeks. Pro boxing could be, you know, it could be a lonely old game. How have you found it?
Yeah, I've been living away, been living in Essex, because obviously there's too many distractions in the north east for me to get away. I've got Ben Davison, one of the best trainers in the world, as my coach, Lee Wiley as well. One of the best fighters ever to come out of Great Britain. You can see by me track record, so sky's the limit, and I just want to keep on climbing the ladder with my team until we get to the top, and one day we'll be fighting for world titles.
I know the first title you've got in your sights is the British title. Echo Wasserman, former GB teammate of yours, has got that title. Good fighter, very good fighter. You don't ever want to look too far ahead. I know that's the law, particularly during fight week, but you're eyeing that up, aren't you?
I'm not eyeing him over, I'm just eyeing up that British title. Whoever's got it, that's the one I want first. Conquer Britain, conquer Commonwealth, European, then world. That's what we're going for. Okay, so your opponent on Saturday will be Dimitri Trout, who sat just next to me, whose last fight actually was against another Burnley boy in Cyrus Pattinson a few months ago. Dimitri, if I could just ask you, how much do you know about Pat?
Okay, sorry for my bad English, very sorry. I think Pat McCormack is a future champion Commonwealth on the world, maybe on the world. Me, I'm a little boxer, but my first objective Saturday make a great show for the people, the UK people, because the UK people is the best people of the world for the boxing. I love people, UK people, because the love boxing. So in French, not this ambiance, so for that Saturday night I done my physical, I done my hurt in the ring for the people of the UK.
Okay, I think that's worth a round of applause. Thanks very much, Dimitri. So moving on to 10 rounds of super lightweight between HARLEM EUBANK and Elliot Chavez. So HARLEM, last time we saw you were producing a spectacular one-punch knockout against Sean Dodd at the Indigo in London. You're a harsh taskmaster with yourself, though. I did say to you yesterday, how many times have you watched that since? How many times a day do you watch it? If it were me, I'd have it on my phone at all times just to show random passers-by in the street. But you moved on from that performance. You were hoping to fight Tom Farrell this weekend. That hasn't materialised. Is it a little bit frustrating for you at the minute? Because I know that the situation around the British super lightweight title is one that you felt you should really have been involved in, but it's not turned out that way.
Yeah, definitely. It's easy to get frustrated. Like I said, I can't control the rankings. I can only control what I go in there and do in the ring, and that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm focused on. So, I'll keep proving myself in the ring, and I'll let everyone else handle what's going on outside of boxing and with the rankings, and put me in position to develop and fight for them titles.
You do seem to have a real ability to do that, to block out the noise and the things that aren't really within your control, and it's something that's, in my experience, it's something that's a lot easier said than done. Do you think that's the result of a pro career where at times you have had to be patient?
Most definitely, to get to this point now, I've had to block out a lot of the noise and just focus and dig down and really lock in on becoming the best version of myself and the best fighter I can be. So I've had to practice at blocking out the noise and just zoning in, and that's what I'm going to continue to do to grow in the sport of boxing.
Have you investigated your opponent much? Do you watch tape? Do you do that yourself? Do you leave that to Adam?
Not too much. I leave that to Adam and Charlie and H, and I'm just focused on following the training and the routine that I've been preparing for and executing it.
Okay, thanks very much. I think if we could get our translator up to have a quick word with Elliot. So, Elliot Chavez, 11-4-1, last boxed in April. And first of all, if we could just ask him, how much is he looking forward to fighting in the UK?
Elliot, la pregunta es ¿qué expectativas tenés para la pelea?
Pues Domasin, yo tengo un objetivo claro y es venir a ganar. ¿Por qué? Porque represento a México, represento a todo mi país, represento a mi familia, vengo muy fuerte, muy duro, muy listo e inteligente y vengo con mi meta clara de ser campeón del mundo.
I'm here for only one thing, it's to win, to bring the title back to home, to my family. We've been working hard to do this, and I think I will take the title back.
Just ask him, what does he think of HARLEM EUBANK? Has he watched HARLEM EUBANK? What does he think of him as a fighter?
¿Qué opinas de HARLEM EUBANK?
Pues la verdad, espero una muy dura pelea que va a ser de choque, va a ser de enfrentamiento, porque yo vengo a darlo todo y primeramente vamos a irnos por el camino más corto y estoy feliz y contento de poder pelear aquí y con toda esta bella gente.
I think it's going to be a tough fight. He's a very tough fighter, he's good, but I'm really confident that I can get the win. We've been training hard and I'm really happy to be here today in front of you.
Okay, thanks very much. He's got a 50-second knockout win, by the way, against Mauricio Lara, featherweight. That was at featherweight, but Lara, who everybody will remember for those two fights against Josh Warrington. So this is no easy task for HARLEM EUBANK. So onto our main event. Top of the bill is Josh Kelly against Lucas Bastida for the WBO International title at super welterweight, and Josh Kelly back in the northeast for the first time in a little while, sporting a Sunderland shirt. Is that safe to do in Gateshead, but not quite so safe to do on the other side of the river? I don't really know how these things work.
Nah, listen, I think I'm alright now. I think I'm alright, but yeah. Northeast is where I'm from, but Sunderland's your support, so listen, I've got to rep the badge, I can't let the home boys down, so that's what I've got on today, and I'm proudly wearing it.
So how does it feel to be back out in front of a home crowd? You were loving it at the open workout yesterday. There's a lot of Northeast fighters, many of whom you know, of course, on the card as well, and you're leading the charge on Saturday. It's responsibility for you.
Yeah, I mean, my performance Saturday is going to be electric. I feel like the energy is going to be absolutely pumping through. Everybody on the card, near enough from the northeast. I'm feeling the best I've ever felt in my career. Consistently in the gym, consistently keeping on it. And this is just going to the product you're going to see on Saturday. It's going to be such a sharp performance. And this guy now is going to realise he's really swimming with the sharks. He's come over a long journey, and listen, it's not going to be a nice one for this guy.
How different is fight week for you now? You've got an extra half a stone to play with, boxing at super welterweight rather than welterweight.
Listen, I was really super welterweight, boiled down to welterweight. I was boxing at 69 kilo at Team GB, so that was just under super well. As a kid, like 20-year-old, so I mean, when I'm now 28, I'm mature now. I'm a proper bloke, so it was only a matter of time till I stepped up, and everyone was saying when you're going to go up. I feel unbelievable at this way. I feel strong. I'm not a small super, but I'm strong. You'll be surprised how strong I am when I get in there Saturday.
And people are already talking about a potential fight for the British title at super welterweight between yourself and Troy Williamson, who you know from the GB squad, who I understand is going to be there on Saturday. Is that any kind of distraction?
No distraction, mate. Listen, we're here for all the big fights in the division. My eyes are secured on them top titles in the division. I wouldn't be in the sport if I didn't think I'd get to world level, so that's where I'm looking at. And if the big fights come along on the way, 100% I'm winning. Okay, so let's have a word with your opponent then. Lucas Bastida, who we saw at the open workout yesterday, undefeated. Well, undefeated at super welterweight though. That one defeat came at welterweight a while ago in quite strange circumstances. It was a clash of heads that caused the cut, which caused the fight to be stopped, and the win was given to his opponent. But undefeated at super welterweight, he's a long reigning South American middleweight champion. So he's been giving away weight in his last few fights because 154 is pretty much where he's weighed in and where he feels most comfortable. So if we could just get our translator back up. So if you just ask him, again, a similar thing to the question we asked Elliot, how much, after the open workout yesterday and seeing how many people were there, how much is he looking forward to boxing in front of a UK crowd?
La pregunta para Lucas es ¿qué esperas de esta pelea? ¿Qué te pareció el entrenamiento de ayer con toda la gente que esperas al sábado?
Hola, ¿qué tal a todos? Bueno, para esta pelea espero ya me veo victorioso. De hecho, me he preparado mucho con el equipo. Le agradezco a la promotora WASSERMAN Boxing por haberme avisado con mucho tiempo de anticipación. Ya veníamos entrenando para otra pelea, pero bueno, salió esta que es mucho mejor. Así que nada, contento de toda la gente, muy buena onda. Así que bueno, espero que disfruten de esta linda pelea.
I hope that it's going to be a good fight. I love what I saw yesterday, the people, the practice and everything. They have treated me really good. And I see myself as a winner, but I hope we can give the people a nice show.
What does he think of Josh Kelly?
¿Qué pensás de Kelly?
No pienso, lo que he visto en su pelea que, bueno, él es welter, es muy chico para la categoría y creo que, bueno, yo soy campeón sudamericano en peso mediano, creo que tengo más mano de poder, así que, bueno, vamos a aprovechar esa ventaja que tenemos.
I think he's kind of small for the weight. He's a welter fighting in super welterweight, and I'm a middleweight cutting weight to fight in super welterweight. So I think I have a physical advantage over him.
Okay, thanks Lucas, thanks very much. So Lisa, final word to you. This is, it's great to see Josh back in the Northeast, top of the bill. Stepped up to super welter, had that fight last time out, made quite short work of his opponent on that occasion, but it really starts now, doesn't it, this second phase to his career, if you like, at a new weight.
Yeah, I mean, I see this as Josh Kelly 2.0. I think people forget that he fought Avnisian in his 12th fight, and now no one in the UK wants to fight Avnisian, so it just shows how brave Josh is. And I think it was a bit too soon for him in his career. I think now, if you see his last fight, you saw him shed those cobwebs, you saw him almost roll through the round, getting ready for the next fight, the next challenge, and you can see how confident he is up here today. Only in his 14th fight, 28 years old, Olympian. He's got the world at his feet, he's a superstar. Now he just needs to realise it in the ring. And I think he will on Saturday night. Bastida's, he's a tough guy, but I think Josh has all the tools to become British champion, European champion, world champion, all of them.
Okay, well thanks very much Lisa, thanks very much everybody, to all fighters who've come along today and given us their time. Really looking forward to Saturday, broadcast live on Channel 5. There are still tickets available, go to Wasserman Boxing, people can go to the box office on the night. If you just follow Wasserman Boxing social media channels, you can get all the details you could need. I think all of these fighters will be available for one-on-ones now. Thanks very much.
Welcome, Team Everlast, to the Team Everlast Fitness app. Download the Everlast Fitness app and find your greatness within.